There are a lot of ways to end up playing for the wrong team, and almost nobody feels it happen. Some get there certain they see the whole field and never miss. Clean players in their own eyes, and the certainty is the cage. Some get there worn down, talked into believing they were never any good. Some get there chasing points that felt good to chase. And plenty get there having never thought about it once, just walking the road they were already on because it was the road right in front of them. Different doors, same room. And the room has one tell under all the others. Inside it, a smaller game looks like the only game there is, and you pour your heart into it. That's what playing for the wrong team actually is. Not signing a contract with a bad guy. Just playing hard, maybe your whole life, for points that don't count in the game that's actually on, and not being able to see that's what you're doing. It works like a trap play. The other coach almost never beats you head on. Head on is expensive, and you'd see it coming. He gets you off your spot, finds where your weight already wants to go, and sets the trap one step past it. The fake outrage that pulls you out of position, the emergency loud enough to eat the time you'd have used to think. The deal where every option on the table is somehow his. You don't get overpowered, you get moved, leaned off the place you were standing on something good, until you trip over your own feet and call it your own idea. Here's what most people get wrong about the fix. They figure if you could just learn to see the plays, they'd stop getting beaten. Watch enough film, learn the fakes, stay safe. But seeing the trap and wanting the trap are two different things, and the second doesn't go away when the first shows up. You can watch the fake scoreboard light up, points for being right, for being on top, for getting yours. Know in your heart it's rigged and still want the points. Knowing never touches the wanting. And it's worse than that because the one reel you can't get is the film of your own play. Not because it's missing, because the part of you in charge keeps it in the dark on purpose. The whole job of the old self is to keep the worst footage unwatched. You can't go hunting for the thing your own wanting is built to hide. So you can't even see clearly on your own. And the certainty that you do see fine, that you're making no mistakes, is the deepest part of the trap, the part that feels the best and gives up the least. So the first helpful hand isn't strength to win a game. It's help to do the one thing nobody chooses on his own, to ask to be shown the thing you already half know you won't like, and, before even that, to suspect there's anything there to be shown at all. That's the first stair, and it's the bravest. And it's the one you need the most help to take, because everything in you is built not to take it. You don't feel like looking. You ask anyway. The asking runs out ahead of the wanting. The hands move before the heart catches up. It's the film room with the lights on, except you're the one on the tape and you're the one asking to roll it. Not make me strong, not let me win, just show me what I've been keeping in the dark. Here's why that ask is the whole game, and not just a nice first step. The two coaches don't play by the same rules. The other one never waits for an invitation. He's in your ear whether you asked or not, uninvited, quietly narrowing what you can see until the lesser game looks like the only game on the field. The good coach won't work like that. He won't barge in. He helps when he's asked and not before, which makes the one move that's actually yours, the only real call you get, whether you ask him in. You can't supply the help on your own, but the asking is yours. And once you've asked, the help keeps coming, one floor down at a time. Help to actually see it, the recognition you couldn't manufacture, now that you've stopped guarding the door. And under that, the deepest floor, help to change what you want, the appetites under the plays, slowly reordered in a way no amount of gritting your teeth could reach. You don't white-knuckle your way out of wanting the wrong thing. You get handed a different want. And not one of those stairs is yours to build. Nobody starts the sequence himself. Even the first ask, the one that feels like all you couldn't get made if the help weren't already standing there ready before you turned toward it. The reaching is really yours. You just didn't set the handhold and didn't cook up the wanting to reach for it. Help, waiting at every step, and a real reach at every step. Nothing to take a bow for, nobody's puppet either. Which is why this only works with a living coach, not a quote on a wall. A poster can't help you. You can admire a dead teacher, quote him, hang him over your desk, and stay the king of your own house the whole time because a man you can only quote never tells you no and never reaches down to pull you off your own throne. The asking is the actual machine. You ask somebody alive who answers, who does the thing you can't do for yourself. Worth asking yourself whether the coach you've made room for has ever once told you no. If he hasn't, you've got a poster. Once you've been given eyes, you start to see the plays, and they're worth knowing. Just don't mistake the seeing for the cure, and don't count them like a checklist, because there aren't 2 or 10. There are thousands, all of one root. The thoughts that make the wrong game look better than the real one. so learn the pattern, not the list. A couple of examples of the pattern. He goes for the cheap shot first, and plays like some men are worth less than others. Not the same as playing hard. A clean, hard hit to protect somebody is the game. The tell is excessive force, reach for first. As the whole plan, some lives counted cheaper on the way. And he runs the biggest roster there is. No tryout, no cost at the door. Come as you are and stay as you are. You're on it by default, the way you're on a road just by walking down it until you turn off. The only team with a real door, a cost to walk through and to stay, is the owners. One roster asks nothing and changes nothing. The other asks everything and makes you into something. Two things keep this from rotting into paranoia. You read the play, not the man. What's got him is a narrowed view and a voice in his ear he never invited, not his soul, which is above your grade. And every tell is a flag, not a verdict. A red flag means look closer here, never that you've proved anything. Even killing, the loudest flag there is, isn't proof by itself. A man can take a life as the other coach's man, or in the rare clean defense of somebody weak. Smoke means check for fire. It doesn't mean burn the man. The second you read the flags as verdicts and start scanning the locker room for who's been got, you've picked up the other coach's job, and you won't feel it because that's exactly where he works, in your head, in your own voice, telling you you're the one who sees clearly, which is his real field, your head. The oldest name for him is the accuser, and his weapon is what you believe about yourself and about the man across from you. Half the trash talk in your ear isn't coming from across the line. It's running in your own voice like it's you. That's why you can't argue a man free of a bad frame, and why the counter has to live out loud, in the open, where another set of eyes sees what you can't. The asking is out loud for the same reason. The dark is his house. You don't fight him there alone and quiet. And there's one move he can't fake, because the second you fake it, it stops being itself. A teammate who keeps loving the men he flat out disagrees with pays for it and does it in the open. You can fake hustle for the cameras. You can't fake paying with sweat and tears to keep loving somebody you think is wrong. The moment it's for show, the cost isn't real and the thing's gone. The cost is the proof. And that kind of love doesn't come from trying harder to be nice. It comes off the third stair, the changed want. He can copy any play. He can't copy a want he didn't give. I keep calling him the other coach like he's a free agent. He isn't. There's an owner. He built the league, laid the field, wrote the rules, and put both coaches in their jobs. Not two equal powers slugging it out on neutral grass. The other coach is a man the owner hired into a role on the owner's field under the owner's rules. The oldest telling has him walking into the owner's own office to ask permission before he can touch anybody. And the owner loves them both. He has to. Or, love the men you disagree with is something he asks for us and won't do himself. What the other coach doesn't get is favor, the delight that lands on one, the voice over the river saying, "This is my son, the one I love, and I'm proud of him." Loved both, favored one. And one coach did what the other never would. He suited up, walked onto the grass, and took the hits. The one coach, who was also a player. That's where the standing to coach anybody comes from. Don't play waiting for the owner to throw the other coach out at the half. The coach himself said nobody knows that clock but the owner, and waiting for the ejection is a losing posture anyways. It's hanging on a whistle to save you instead of playing the down in front of you. The other coach might be in this for good, and a game that never ends isn't the same as suffering that never ends because the game can be permanent and the scores still get better. You keep a team sharp by keeping something pushing on it. Take the resistance away, and a people go soft and coast into the very thing it was built against inside 3 generations. But his being useful never makes his plays good. The second somebody says a real horror was necessary to keep it sharp, the whole thing's been captured into excusing evil. And you read the score off the world, not your own stat sheet. War, killing, rape, kids starving, people dying alone, that's the board, and that's him running it up. It's all one board, and here's what he keeps hidden. The big numbers sit on 1,000 small ones. War doesn't drop because you fought war. It drops because the contempt dropped, the divorces, the fist fights, the loneliness, the appetite that always needs more. The boring numbers nobody puts on a highlight reel. Those move first. War and rape move last, which is why the work is a small team and not a grand campaign. The campaign runs straight at the headline by Forrest's first option, his whole offense, and loses even when it wins. The team works the near, quiet, upstream plays, the only place the board gives. A marriage that quits running contempt is the score coming down at the one scale most people ever touch. Call it a team. It's the only word that fits at every size. 2 or 3 is a team. A marriage is a team, the smallest, the hardest. The whole thing, all the way up, is one team. The kingdom was never an organization. It's people running the practice one at a time. No building or brand or org chart to capture. Start at home. Your marriage is the first locker room. The door is anti-highlight reel. Nobody drafts himself. A man puts his hand up in front of everybody with 2 things: that he's running the practice and what he really brings, and the team weighs it together. And yes, a team like this can still put a man out, but never for disagreeing with you. That's filtering for sameness in a ref shirt. You separate on the standard. Won't run the practice. Keeps throwing cheap shots after he's been called in. Won't show the film his power owes. Last resort, after the invitation, door open behind him, grief not punishment. You don't call anybody out. You invite them to the film room with the lights on, and the more power a man holds, the more film he owes. Your standing to invite is that you've already rolled your own tape in front of everybody. The team isn't graded from the outside against the standard. It is the standard, out where you can see it. Which is why the last thing comes before anything is asked of you, and it's the same as the first stair. Look at your own film first. The other coach's best counter to all of this isn't arguing with it. It's getting you to run it on everybody else. The whole thing was one move. Ask to be shown what you won't like about yourself before you go looking at anybody else's tape. And you can't make that ask alone. So make it the way every real move in this game gets made. Out loud to somebody alive, asking for help you can't come up with yourself. And the coach you'd be asking, the living one who tells you no to your face and reaches down to pull you off your own throne, turns out to be the king. He outranks the whole league, and earned it the only way that counts. He suited up and took the hits himself. You meet him in the role you can stomach and find out he runs everything. Even he answers to the owner. Which leaves the goal. Not beating anybody. The man in the other jersey is a teammate who hasn't crossed over yet. You play against the narrowed view and the uninvited voice he's playing on, and for the man, because the man can still ask. Winning him isn't beating him. It's waking him to which Scoreboard is real, so he quits spending himself on points that don't count. The goal belongs to the whole team, and it's the oldest and biggest thing there is to want, in words none of us made up. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Built slow, in the open, by 2 or 3 who keep asking for help they can't generate, loving each other across everything they fight about and paying for it. The score coming down one quiet number at a time, the other coach still on the field, and the team finally learning to line up across from him without being afraid. Now, go ask to be shown what you don't want to see.